Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video doing an unboxing and first time testing of the Unicook Pizza Stone in the 14 by 16 rectangular dimension. For those of you that are not familiar with pizza stones, there's something that you place in your oven as a surface to cook on that's very useful for pizza and other baked goods like breads. And the benefit of this is that you leave it in the oven, preheat it all the way up to temperature, and it just allows for better contact with the bread or the pizza to provide a better cooking of the crust. And so this is something that I kind of knew about, but I never really pursued fully. And I asked for this for Christmas through my parents because they've had a pizza stone ever since they were married as a wedding gift. And so they ended up getting me the stone. And so what we'll do in this video is first we'll pull the stone out of the box. We'll show you what comes in the box. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of making pizza with this stone as compared to like your traditional cheap pizza rack type steel kind of cooking surface, so that you can see a side-by-side comparison of the crust. As always, if you're potentially interested in purchasing this, there will be links below for where you can find it on Amazon. Otherwise, we'll get started. Okay, so this is the Unicook Pizza Stone in the 16 by 14 rectangular dimension. If you go on Amazon, currently this is listed for about $45. I ended up picking the rectangular size just because it's more versatile for using in your oven. So once you place this in the oven, you're going to leave it in your oven and you'll use it routinely for pizza, bread, whatever it might be. The benefit of the rectangular size compared to the round one is then it's not necessarily exclusive for pizza and you can use it for other things. I believe the round ones are a little bit cheaper, but kind of, to be honest, for 10-15 bucks more, you might as well go with the rectangular one. The main thing that you do want to know is that when you have a pizza stone, just measure the dimensions of your oven first, but for most ovens or standard ovens, this 14 by 16 dimension should fit easily. As far as in the box, it should really just have the pizza stone, a scraper for cleaning it, and then really it should just have the overall instructions. And so that's kind of what you're seeing here. Hopefully it's all on camera. And so here is a general information book on basically the user manual before the first use, warnings about how to use it, directions on how to use it, how to clean and care. I'm not going to go into this entirely right now just so you don't waste your time reading it, but that information is here as well as online potentially through the company. Then you have the scraper itself. So this scraper is kind of the way you clean it. With pizza stones, what happens is this is a quarterite stone, so it's a porous surface, and so you can use water on it, but you have to let it dry entirely because the water absorbs into the surface. So if you ever wash this or get it wet, you want to let it dry completely before reheating it, otherwise it'll crack. And then the other main thing with this is that when you use your stone, you want to make sure that you never ever put chemicals or soap on it, because the soap will absorb, or the soap or the chemicals will absorb into it, and you'll end up having either discoloration or change in taste, or overall just like the quality of the stone will get impaired. And so the packaging is really nice. It's got styrofoam basically entirely around the pizza stone, so you don't have to worry about it breaking. And then it comes in this box here. So let me just pull this out and we'll take a look at it. And so this is what the stone looks like. So as you can tell, it's a 14 by 16 rectangular dimension. As expected, it's a stone. It is a pretty solid, heavy piece of stone, so it's something that you do want to be very careful with. And the thickness is about, I'd say a centimeter and a half, maybe, not too much. But that's what generally it looks like. It's a hard surface. There's labeling on the back here, I believe. Yeah, so on the bottom it does say Unicook, but your cooking surface is actually going to be this surface here. So that's what the stone looks like. It has rounded edges. It's beveled on the edges here. There's no sharp corners or anything like that. Really what we'll do real quick right now is I'm going to read the instruction manual, and then we'll get kind of set up for making pizza with this. I might, based on the instructions, I'll kind of figure out what I have to do the first time we use this, and then we'll set up some pizzas for using with this as compared to the traditional kind of like stainless steel like vented pan that you can get in kind of any store. All right, so despite the fact that I said I wasn't gonna go through the instructions, I think it is useful for the first time kind of owner of one of these to see. But basically what it says is before first time use, you wanna rinse the pizza stone with water, only clean water, no detergent, and dry it in the oven thoroughly. That's really getting any of the corduroy residue off of it in the production process. Then they do have warnings here, and these are very important because there's mixed information online regarding this, but it says never season the pizza stone with oil or grease. Do not spill any cheese, oil, butter, sauce on the stone. If you look on YouTube or so, there's a lot of videos that say how to season your pizza stone, and I did a lot of research last night on this, and really there's no evidence to justify seasoning it. It's not like a cast iron pan, so you really shouldn't do it because the oil absorbs into the surface and ultimately will just burn the pizza stone and you might ruin it. It says do not bake any oily food directly on the stone. Never use soap or detergent to clean the stone because of numerous pores on the stone will absorb cleaning liquids and give the chemical smell when heated. Never soak the pizza stone in water for a long time. That's because it absorbs as well. Never handle the stone with your bare hands, obviously, because it's super hot. And do not cut pizza directly on it. And then make sure that you're very careful with it because it is a stone, so it's very easy to crack or break. And then generally it has instructions on how to make a pizza with this. So it says preheat the stone in the oven or on the grill for at least to 500 degrees. Usually it takes about 40 to 60 minutes depending on the type of oven. So that's very important, and that's because the stone needs to heat up slowly. Like other stones or like glass or something like that. If you heat it up too abruptly, it's going to expand and contract and it potentially will crack with that. So you want to take the time to heat it up slowly and allow for it to fully heat up, otherwise you'll crack it. Very similarly, you do not want to shock it with water or cool it too quickly because it'll contract too quickly and it'll crack as well. Then it just describes kind of how to put pizza on it. So basically it says like put the pizza, like prep the pizza and then put it on, transfer it over onto the pizza stone once heated with a pizza peel. This is something I don't have and I didn't really think about with the pizza stone, but you should get a pizza peel to apply it directly on because this is going to be hot. It's not going to be a surface that you can touch with your bare hands. You can't prep it on this and then put it in the oven. It's more of a cooking surface, so once it's hot, then you apply the pizza directly on here. So I'm probably going to purchase a peel so that I can directly apply it. That's something I'll get in the future. Similarly, I want to get something to pull it off of this because the peel can't get underneath the edge of the pizza. So it's something that you'll need like a steel, one of the steel transfers as well. So that's that. And then it just talks about transfer or like moving the pizza during it to cook it. That's pretty standard. And then cleaning instructions, it does say let the stone cool before cleaning. Use the scraper or nylon brush to remove any stuck on residue. And then what you want to do is for grease stains, it says you can use baking soda paste or scrub to brush in a circular motion. Wipe the stone with a damp cloth and hand wash it with warm water. No detergent. It's not dishwasher safe. So really once you're done, basically use the scraper to clean off any residue on it. If there's grease stains, you use baking powder or paste or baking soda paste to clean it, and then you just want to wipe it down with warm water. Very similar to like a cast iron pot. And then if the stone is still dirty after cleaning, run the self-cleaning cycle in the oven with it to clean it. And then dry the stone completely in the oven at 500 degrees for about 30 minutes after cleaning to prevent mold buildup. So that's important too. And then you want to clean it, keep it in a dry, safe place. Usually you can just leave it in the oven. So those are the instructions as far as that. The reason why I went through it is because this is very important regarding the stone, making sure that you take care of it appropriately and you don't kind of ruin it in the process of using it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rinse this off as instructed, get all the residue off of it. I'll let it dry and then we'll set it up for doing pizza. Really what I'm going to do is just preheat it in the oven and get it all set up, and then we'll throw the pizza on and kind of see a side-by-side comparison with the other pizza maker item. Okay, so for the first time use, what you want to do is you're going to set your oven up to 500 degrees after you rinse it off. And so we'll do that. And then once it's up there, it's preheating. And now what you'll do is you'll put the stone, after you've rinsed it off, into the oven, okay? And you're just gonna let it sit for roughly 40 to 60 minutes at that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a timer here for 40, let's say 45 minutes, just so it can heat up. And then that'll allow the stone to get up to temperature for using it. Okay, so the stone is all set as far as heating up. I left it in the oven at 500 degrees for about 45 minutes as the timer went off. I will note that just by putting water on that to rinse it off and then putting it in the oven, there was a significant amount of steam that came off of this. So be very careful with heating it too quickly or potentially affecting the temperature too quickly after you clean it or rinse it off the first time. So definitely take advantage of heating it all the way when you first use it, as well as every time after. But it's all set, the oven set up. First off, what we did was we made 2 separate pizzas. They're basically just plain cheese. I'm not making anything complex for this. And as far as a standard comparison, they're virtually identical. It's basically pizza dough, tomato sauce, cheese, and some seasoning on top of it. So we'll put the bottom one on the bottom pan here. Usually I would likely probably swap this where I put the pizza stone on the bottom from now on, just because it's easier to access and such like that. However, I didn't want anything dripping down from this onto the pizza stone for the first time use. And then as far as the actual pizza stone, what we're going to do is we're going to get this pulled out, and then we're very carefully going to add the pizza. I do not have a pizza peel, so what I did was I basically took this pizza, set it up with a ton of flour, and then I'm going to try to use a spatula and apply it that way. But after this video, I will be buying a pizza peel to make it easier to do that, because I've used them in the past when I was in a pizzeria, and it's definitely worth the time. And so hopefully we won't knock this off or anything like that. Bear with me for 1 second just while I do this, because it might be a little bit hard the first time. But after today, we probably won't run into this issue again, because I'm gonna get a pizza peel and then it won't be a problem. Okay, so there you go. So to be honest, it wasn't too difficult with a cutting board. However, it is something that you do have to be very careful. You don't want to spill any of the cheese or the sauce on the pizza stone, but that's how it's going to be set up. What we'll do now is we'll leave it for kind of whatever it might be, 10-15 minutes, flip it around in the middle of this, and then once it's all done, we'll pull it out and kind of do a side-by-side taste test. So we'll let this cook. Okay, so it's probably been about 15 minutes or so, but I noticed that the cheese was starting to burn on the pizza stone pizza. As you can tell, you can see here it's starting to burn. The crust is already done though, and so what we're going to do is we're going to try to transfer this very carefully over to this cutting board that I used earlier. Hopefully it won't tear or anything like that in the process, but this is where like a steel pizza peel may come into good use later on, and I'll probably purchase one. But the spatula seems to be working. It's a little bit stuck on the back. I'm just being very careful here so it doesn't tear or anything. But there, it's free, and so very carefully we're going to transfer this over. And so real quick, it kind of looks like it's pretty much done. So that's going to be the pizza stone pizza. And then if you look, there's like flour and a little bit of residue on it. It should clean up pretty easily though. And then this one still has a little bit more time, and so I'm gonna let it sit a little bit longer for this one, but then we'll pull that out once it's done. Okay, so the other pizza is already done, so now I'm gonna just pull it out of the oven. I'm not gonna show you that just because it's pretty straightforward. But here we go. So this is what this one looks like. And that's that. All right. So real quick, we'll turn off the oven. So on the right hand side here, you have the pizza stone pizza. So this is what the crust looks like. It's not the best on the bottom. I think I put a lot of what's called flour on it. And this is what the stainless steel one is. It's hard to tell on here, but basically the stainless one or the steel one on the bottom on the right hand side, it's got a little bit of burning already happening, probably because I wasn't really paying attention, but it's definitely more towards being burned, versus this one is kind of like almost like undercooked throughout. My thing is with the Pizza Stone, I think maybe it wasn't up to temperature entirely for making pizza, but we'll just cut these up and kind of get a general sense of how they look after doing it this way. This was store-bought dough. It wasn't anything that I made at home, and it was also just regular kind of like pizza sauce. Nothing too special, just because I didn't have the time today. As you can tell, the steel one is definitely crispier and, compared to the Pizza Stone, but it's also my first time using it, or the Pizza Stone. So this is what the steel one looks like. So as you can tell, there's areas where it's starting to burn already. Just sitting here, sorry, the cheese is falling off, but it's definitely harder and crispier compared to the Pizza Stone, which is this, which is more evenly distributed. So I'd say that maybe I'd have to mess with the temperature a little bit with the Pizza Stone so that the cheese doesn't burn. So it's something that, or it might be that the Pizza Stone needs to sit a little bit longer. So we used 45 minutes for this. So maybe if it sat for 60 minutes, it would be up to a better temperature where it's cooking the dough a little bit more evenly and quicker as compared to the cheese. So that's something that I keep in mind. So that's everything I have as far as the Pizza Stone. Hopefully that was helpful. So that's an unboxing of the Unicook Pizza Stone in the 14x16 dimension. There's going to be a link in the description below if you're interested in purchasing it. I'll do a follow-up video. I'm definitely going to get a pizza peel for the Pizza Stone, as well as something to remove it just to facilitate that whole process. And cleaning it should be straightforward. All you need is the cleaner or the scraper, and then rinsing it off once it's all cool. So hopefully that helped. If you have questions, comments, post them below. And as always, if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to subscribe to my content, please hit the subscribe button now. So thanks for watching.